Sports Talk. Let's go. What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Happy Monday to you guys. It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. I have another jam-packed show for you guys today. We're going to be breaking down Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. The Milwaukee Bucks take care of business on the road and finally get that road win of the series. Also, I want to talk about CP3, his ability or lack of ability to kind of handle these big situations here in the finals. And also Giannis Antetokounmpo, did he all of a sudden just become the face of the league? Pretty interesting thought, but I have to let you guys know what I think about that. And finally, Team USA basketball just wrapped up their exhibition games as they make their way towards Tokyo to compete for a gold medal. I have my reservations. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it, but I'll let you guys know what I think about that. So without further ado, sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Hope you guys are doing well, man. Hope you guys are having a great summer, enjoying some time off if you'll be able to do that. Summer's almost up. Those kids are getting ready to go back to school soon. But hey, I am back with another edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Like I said before at the top of the show, we're going to talk about the NBA Finals, CP3, Giannis, and the U.S. men's basketball team as they make their way towards Tokyo as they compete for a gold medal. But before I get into the episode, make sure you guys, if you have not already, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Clutch Sports Talk, man. Keep subscribing, hit that notifications icon, let you know everything Clutch Sports Talk related goes up. And also make sure you follow all my other social media platforms, which are scrolling below right now as we speak. And also make sure if you have any comments or questions, make sure you hit up that comment section below, and I'll get in there and answer all your questions, and we'll keep the episode moving along. But without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. So Saturday night, the Milwaukee Bucks took a 3-2 lead against the Phoenix Suns. They are one win away from accomplishing something that they haven't done in quite some time. And the last time they did that, they had a player by the name of 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤. Some of you are like, well, who the hell is 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤? Well, for most of us know him as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the captain, the Laker, former Milwaukee Buck, who won a world title with the Milwaukee Bucks years ago. But the Milwaukee Bucks are on the precipice of winning another NBA title. Now, this game was pretty solid from the jump. Milwaukee definitely struggled in the first couple minutes, if not the first quarter of the game, but they took over the rest of the game and leaving the Suns to think like, well, what can we do? The Milwaukee Bucks play a tough brand of basketball. They're very physical. They're a bigger team, and this is something I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. But just by looking at the stats, overall, the Milwaukee Bucks are not that much better, I would say, than the Phoenix Suns. Just looking at the stats alone, Phoenix Suns are shooting better. They're shooting at a 50% clip versus the Milwaukee Bucks are only shooting at 47%, right? Rebounds is a big thing in this series I like to kind of point out there. The Milwaukee Bucks are out rebounding the Phoenix Suns 45 to 39 and a half rebounds, which is big, especially those offensive rebounds. Those offensive rebounds have been killer in clutch and crucial situations for the Phoenix Suns down the stretch. And also turnovers is just something that, it's been plaguing the Phoenix Suns, and primarily CP3, which I'll talk about here later on in this episode tonight. But they're averaging about 12 and a half turnovers a game, where Milwaukee's only averaging about 9. And you thought, well, that's not a big deal. Well, it can be a big deal, especially when your point guard is the guy turning the ball mostly over in most situations. So, they're protecting the ball, they're rebounding, especially getting offensive rebounds. And this has a lot to do with 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤 going down before the series even took place, because now they don't really have another guy they can kind of step in to take some minutes from DeAndre Ayton to at least help in the front court. And Giannis and Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, these guys are having a field day on the glass, and this is definitely helping out the Milwaukee Bucks tremendously as they take control of the series and they look to put it away tomorrow night. So, do I think the Milwaukee Bucks will win? I initially had the Phoenix Suns winning the series in 6, right? This was the game that I was going to think they were going to win, but right now I don't think so. I think the Suns still find a way to win it and bring it back home and try to force a game 7. I think the NBA wants this. They definitely want this. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist kind of guy, but sometimes things line up way too often, and this might be one of those moments where the NBA is saying, "Hey, you know what? Who knows, man? Let's get more ratings. Let's get more revenue. We'd rather a game 7 than a game 6 because all of us right now, especially bettors, they're all saying, you know what? The Milwaukee Bucks are probably going to win this game. But I will say this: the Phoenix Suns have been in all these games. They've had control of these games. Not all of them, but because of their lack of protecting the ball, not boxing out, especially on the offensive glass. And I think just sometimes their game situations. And I don't know if you can attest this to a young team, because they are fairly young with the exception of CP3, who's one of the oldest players on the team. It's a very, very young squad. Devin Booker, an up and coming star, he's still fairly young, even though he's been in the league quite some time, but he's never been in this type of pressure cooker situation. Now he's doing what he can right now to do whatever he can to carry his team. He's scoring, but I think this is by design. I think the Milwaukee Bucks, and a lot of people criticize Budenholzer, the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, for saying, well, why are you letting Devin Booker get off? Honestly, you should let him get off. You let somebody else beat you. Anytime you're playing a team with an exceptional player or superstar, you know what? You're not going to stop these guys. They're going to get what they're going to get. And at the end of the day, you just got to let them go get theirs. You let somebody else beat you. And I think that's what's happening in this series. I think Giannis is having a great series, and the Suns really don't have a matchup for him right now, really. But Chris Middleton, other guys, Pat Connaughton shooting well from the 3-point line. Jrue Holiday doing a great job on CP3, slowing him down, forcing him to create some turnovers that are uncharacteristic by CP3. These are all things that are a tribute to. So Budenholzer, he's a great coach. I mean, he's been doing it for quite some time. He was an assistant for Popovich for quite some time. The Atlanta Hawks, he took them to, I believe, an Eastern Conference Finals a long, long time ago. But, it was during the LeBron reign in the Eastern Conference. So, hey, it didn't work out for them. And now he's with the Milwaukee, a team that really, if you look on paper, they're not a very exciting team. The superstar is not that exciting for the most part, at least off the court, I would say. At least that's my opinion, which I'll talk about that later on. But I will say that he might have an edge right now over Monty Williams. I'm not sure if Monty Williams has coached in any type of situations where it's high pressure like the NBA Finals. So I don't know if he has that, because honestly, I think both of their strategies should mimic each other. But I think at this point in time, the Phoenix Suns don't have anybody that they can kind of really throw at anybody. Honestly, I mean, CP3, there are reports saying that he's playing with a hurt hand. I'm just not sure. And like my boy Carving It Up podcast, Bryson Carver, he's saying that rebounding has simply been offered for the Phoenix Suns. Outside of Ayton, they're undersized, and that's exactly a great point, because they are undersized at this point. With 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐷 going down, that really affected the Phoenix Suns going into the series. And you're thinking, well, Saric, I mean, he's not that great of a player. He's another able big body that can crash the boards. Right now, like I said, the Milwaukee Bucks are leading. They're cleaning the glass a lot better than the Phoenix Suns. And the rebounds and the turnovers, it's just not going to happen for them. They have to clean that up. They've had 3 games to do so. They really haven't. It's coming down to tomorrow night. Somehow, I'm probably going to be wrong, because I did pick the Suns to win, so I'm going to stick with that. But I still feel like they're going to pull this game out, and they're going to force a game 7, and we're going to go from there. So that's just my thoughts on that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. Am I totally off on that? And like I said, the other thing, the other role players to me are stepping up a lot better than the Phoenix Suns players. I mean, just you're looking at assist a game, Jrue Holiday, he's doing a lot better. 3-pointer shots. Behind Crowder, Pat Connaughton, he's shooting a very good clip from behind the arc as well. So, there's a lot of other things going on. We really haven't talked about Cameron Payne a lot. DeAndre Ayton really has been kept in check right now. I'm looking up the stats right now. He's averaging, I mean, what is he averaging? He's shooting only 30, what is this? I'm sorry, I got confused here. 57%, but he's not really scoring a lot. He's not scoring a lot. 15 points, which I guess in all estimation, that's not bad for a big man, but they need him to play bigger. And I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks players, especially guys like Chris Middleton, he's averaging 25 in this series. Devin Booker is getting the help. And there was a press conference last night where they asked Devin Booker about CP3's contribution, and Devin Booker just kind of looked at the guy, and even CP3, who was standing next to him, he was like, next question. Because at the end of the day, he does need help. He's not getting it. So I don't know. I think the Suns will win tomorrow night. They'll force a game 7 because that's just gold for the NBA to go back to Phoenix and try to force a game 7 there. So, but I don't know. But it is what it is. But I won't be surprised if the Suns actually do win. Excuse me, if the Milwaukee Bucks just wrap it up tomorrow night. But I'm going to go with my original pick, and I'm going to go with the Suns to win it all still. So I got a slim hope there. All right. Moving on to CP3. So his first final appearance. And quite some time, we all know his, and some of it is his fault, maybe, and some of it is just, luck, I guess. He's been in the playoffs, of course, several times. He was young in his career when he was in New Orleans, when they were the New Orleans Hornets. Then he goes to LA. They had a couple runs there. They blew a 3-1 lead to the Houston Rockets. Oklahoma City Thunder, he only played there 1 year, so he did a good job with that team. He probably was in contention for the MVP last year. And now this year, I'm not saying he's had a great playoff performance, because the Suns have definitely caught a break in a lot of these series that they played. I mean, you look at the Lakers, you get a hobbled LeBron, you get you get Anthony Davis, who's hobbled as well. And then you move on to the next series where the Denver Nuggets, they're missing one of their other best players in Jamal Murray. Then you get the Clippers, who are missing their best player in Kawhi Leonard. And now you're playing a team that's at full go. Giannis is not, he's recovered from his hamstring injury. Chris Middleton's good to go. And CP3, my boy Barry Grant, the Black Cat Paul, has not let me down. And I'll say this. Scoring wise, he's doing whatever he needs to do. I mean, he's averaging 21 points a game, but the turnovers in the last 3 games, he's had 10 turnovers. He's averaging 3.5, close to 3.8 a game. And this is your point guard. This is your point guard, right? He's supposed to be the epitome of true point guards in the NBA that's remaining, and he's turning the ball over. Now, like I said before a couple of minutes ago, he might have some type of slight hand injury that no one is really caring to elaborate on. But I don't think that's going to be an excuse for him. He's a tough guy. He's been around the league. I just think that maybe, I'm not going to say the moment's too big, but I just don't know. I just don't know what's his problem. But my boy Barry Grant definitely has strong feelings about Chris Paul. I never really cared too much for the guy. I think he's kind of a dirty player. He gives me that dirty player vibe, but he wants to act like all innocent and things like that. But he's one of those guys that he wants to be down and he wants to be the tough guy, but really he's not that guy. Like the guy on TikTok, trust me, you're not that guy, dude. You're not that guy. He's not that guy, I don't think. But a lot of people love the guy. I mean, I'm not going to talk about what he does in his community. That's something separate. But on the court, I just don't like him. I don't like him on the court. So he's definitely struggling. And not to make matters worse, Jrue Holiday is actually doing a pretty good job on him. I mean, right now, Chris Paul's efficiency is -6, -0.6 plus minus ratio. That's not good. That's not good, especially in the NBA Finals, man. This is when your biggest players, your superstars, need to come and show up, and he's not doing that. And I think for me, I'm not smiling about it, but it's just like, well, he is what he is. He's a great player. He'll be a Hall of Famer. I'm not sure if he's going to win a ring this season. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. I'm hoping that they do, because then my pick will be right. But Chris Paul definitely has not shown up in the way that they need him to show up, because you can read box scores, and box scores can kind of distort. It can actually depict a certain narrative the way you want to look at it. Because if you're looking at the box score, Devin Booker, he's averaging 30. I mean, he's shooting, what is he shooting? He's shooting 32% from the 3-point line, which isn't that bad. 47% from the floor. And his plus minus is 5.4, which isn't terrible. You would think that these guys are winning the series running away, but they're not. It's the fact that these other guys on the squad really haven't done much. And so, we expected Chris Paul to take that next step to help out his guy. It's just not happening. And Bryson Carver brings up another good point. Everybody's heard at this stage, CP3 has to have a Game 6 Clippers performance. But if I was guarding him, it's going to be impossible. And exactly. And Jrue Holiday, let's not take away from Jrue Holiday. I've said this months ago, on somebody else's podcast, and I forgot. But guys like Jrue Holiday, the Bobby Portis pickup, those were key offseason or midseason trades and acquisitions because these guys added another toughness that the Milwaukee Bucks did not have last year. And I'm going to have to retract a lot about what I had to say about the Milwaukee Bucks because honestly, when they were down 0-2 the Brooklyn Nets, I was like, well, that's it for them. They're going to fold up like a cheap lawn chair. And they haven't. They bounced back and they're literally one game away from winning an NBA championship. The Milwaukee Bucks they're, and I said this on Friday's show about the finals and how it's not exciting and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not watching it. And, I'm totally wrong. I'll come on here and say, you know what? This is actually what the NBA kind of needs. I think a lot of us, including myself, we got tired of the super teams. We wanted to see some type of parity, and we're getting that. And initially, I was upset because obviously the Lakers lost, and I want to see the Lakers in the finals. But when I look back at the grand scheme of things, both teams, the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks, are not super teams. They're like what we remember what the NBA used to be, or at some point was more consistent of, where you've had one or two really strong players and you had a really strong supporting cast. And this is exactly what we're seeing moving forward, is that maybe you don't need three superstars. You need one really alpha, maybe a number two, and everybody else knows their role. And that's what we're seeing. We all know Giannis is the guy. We all know Devin Booker is going to be the guy in Phoenix. But CP3 really, like I said, to get back on topic with him, he just has not performed. And like Bryson said, everyone's hurt. Everyone's hurt. This is the end of the season. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not a professional athlete. I've never played with pain. I have before in high school, but I wasn't getting paid then. But CP3 is definitely going to have to come up with a bigger game, a bigger, a larger than life playoff performance to kind of salvage his playoff career. I would say he needs to win this title. And moving forward, what do the Phoenix Suns do with him? I think he's a free agent at the end of the year, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. If I'm the Phoenix Suns, if I'm Jones, the general manager there, I probably move off of him. I don't think he's I think he was good for this team this year because they needed that. Because let's be real, the Phoenix Suns have not been viable since the Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire days, and then before that it was Charles Barkley, the Kevin Johnson, the Dan Marley teams led by Paul Westphal. So they've had like spurts where they were good, bad, good, terrible, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, they're in the NBA Finals this year. I think that they need to go out and probably get another score. I think that's what they need to do. I think they're going to, and in the end, it was nice. It's a nice story. Chris Paul needs to probably go. Because here's the thing. Do we think the Phoenix Suns are going to be in the NBA Finals or even in contention next year? I mean, all this year, I discredited them, and I'm probably going to discredit them one more time. I don't think they'll be in contention again. I think, like I said before, they got a lot of luck with the matchups that they had in the playoffs, which, they can't choose who they play. They play who's in front of them. I get that. I understand that. But what we're seeing right now, Chris Paul is probably not going to be that guy. He's not going to be that guy, and they need to go out and get somebody else. Now, they might have some other guys that, turn out to be another great scorer like Bridges, who really, he's not, he's had a pretty decent playoff, but he's only averaging, 13 points this series. They need more out of him. He needs to be like a 20, 25, 20 and 10 kind of guy for them to really feel like, okay, you know what? He's going to be our next guy. But I think they probably need to go out and move on. Take that money that you would use to sign CP3 and go get some other scoring, whether you have to manufacture it in two players or one really legit player. I don't know. The free agent market will dictate that. But I think CP3 definitely probably should move off of him. So again, Bryson's killing the comment section. They need a veteran big to come off the bench from Ayton, and Book needs a follow. Yep, exactly. And that's exactly what I was saying, is that they need another scorer. You do need another big, because here's the thing about the NBA. And I think we all kind of fell in love with this, with the 3-point shooting, with Steph Curry, the Trae Youngs of the world. You still need bigs, man. You still need viable bigs. If you look back now, let's just assume Milwaukee Bucks win the NBA championship tomorrow. Let's just assume that, right? The last 3 NBA champions would have had legitimate big men in the paint. Legitimate. I'll count Giannis as a big man because he's a big man. Brook Lopez is not a slouch. Okay. Bobby Portis is a big, tough guy. You look at last year's Lakers team with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, the way they were able to to defend the paint. And then you look at the year before with, I believe it was the Toronto Raptors, Marc Gasol was a little younger. They had better post play then, right? You still need big men. And I think these teams that are running small, especially when the playoffs come, and especially in the finals, the referees tend to swallow the whistle a lot more. Okay. And so they're allowed to be, these big guys can play more physical. That's why Brook Lopez is having a pretty good series, I would say. Now, is he going to win MVP? Hell no. But he's doing what Brook Lopez is paid to do. He's paid to go out and, get tough rebounds. I mean, he's paid to take tough blocks, take charges, to protect the paint. And he's giving you what it says here, 11 points a game. Like, I'll take that. I'll take that from him. And he's averaging what, 4, close to 5 offensive rebounds a game. And that's crucial again. So, that's, if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I probably got to move off CP3. But anyway, enough about CP3 talk. Let's talk about Giannis, man. Let's talk about Giannis, because this is a very interesting debate. And it's something that I was listening to, I believe it was Colin Cowherd show today. They were talking about Nick Wright, who's another another analyst there that they have. They're a host for one of their shows. And he made me start thinking, because here's the thing. I'm not like a super fan of Giannis. I just not that long ago, I was saying, you know what? He's not that guy. He's a number 2, right? 2-way, if that, right? He needs like an alpha male superstar to come and help him win a championship. And boy, was I wrong. And that's fine. Look, in this business, man, we give a lot of takes and we miss on a lot of takes and we're right on a lot of takes. It is what it is. That's why we do this. All right. It's just to stir the pot, to get some conversations going. And I'll be the first to come on here and say, you know what? I'm probably wrong about this guy. He is still maturing. He's still growing. Now, I still think he needs to develop a jumper, but here's the thing. And this is the point that I'm trying to make, because if you think about it right now, and this is the take that they had on the Colin Cowherd show, excuse me. If you think about right now, Giannis in the next 5 years versus a couple other superstars that we consider some of the best players now, who would you rather have? And they brought up names like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, LeBron, and KD. And just naming those guys, just think about it. Who would you rather have in the next 5 years? KD or Giannis? Honestly, if I really had to think about it, I would probably say Giannis, because Kevin Durant, injury bug. He isn't quite the defender he used to be. Yeah. Hey, what's up, the Scoop? Sports Scoop? KD. I thought he's not the same. He's not the same guy. He'll go out and get you points. I get that, but he's not that guy anymore. Now, he's still one of the top players in the league. Don't get me wrong. You look at LeBron. LeBron is definitely past his prime. He's on the way down. So in the next 5 years, do you think LeBron will be better than Giannis? Probably not. I'd probably say Giannis will be the probably better player. LeBron has played a lot of games, a lot of mileage on his legs, man. Honestly, and I think his move to LA was more about him becoming more of a more affluent, influential businessman than it was a basketball player. They got lucky. They won the title last year in the COVID era. So he can kind of say, I brought one to LA. But I think his main focus is produce shows and be in the media of some sorts. Steph Curry, he's getting older too. I don't know how old Giannis is. He's got to be mid-20s, right? At least, right? I remember watching him play his second year here in Vegas in the Summer League. And I remember this guy and I was like, damn, this dude is big, man. Because I sat really close and I was able to see him play. Who else? Jabari Parker was there too, the year that he got drafted. I forgot who. I think they were playing like the Knicks or somebody like that. But I remember watching this guy. I was like, this guy can get up and down the court. And I didn't think he was going to be a superstar, but I thought he'd be really good. So, but anyway, so Steph Curry, he's got injury problems too. He's only a perimeter player, I guess, per se. He'll play forever because he can shoot. But in the next 5 years, do I think Giannis will be better than him? Yeah, probably so. And then the other guy they named was Damian Lillard, which Damian Lillard's like 30, 31. He's not getting any younger. And he don't even really like the team that he's on. So in the next 5 years, again, you have to think to yourself, Giannis, man, he might be the face of the league, whether we want to or not, which I'm really kicking and screaming on this, but I have to be real. And my boy, Giannis is top 3. He's 3. You're crazy on that Bron take. Bron is a basketball player first. I don't know, Barry. I don't know, man. I like Bron, but it's a reason. Coming to LA was more than just basketball, I would say. That's just my opinion. This is the type of moves he's making, and just some of the comments he's made, especially after they lost to the Phoenix Suns. He was like, "Oh well, I'm just gonna go play with the Toon Squad in the summer." It's like, I wouldn't say it rubbed me the wrong way, but he's complacent, And then even the other night, game 5 in Phoenix, he shows up like he's on the court side, and he has a bottle of tequila, his own bottle of tequila, his company that he's branding like that. So it's kind of like he moves in certain ways that he might. I mean, I'm not saying he's not all about basketball, because I think he is a basketball player first, but I think he's in a transition of his career where he's like, he knows it's almost up, man, and he's still arguably a top 5 player in the league. But these younger guys, man, and yeah, he's in the offseason, and I get that. I totally get that. But he's LeBron. He's not just anybody else. So he has to he has a set of different rules that other players don't have to live by. But hey, it is what it is. I think he'll come back more motivated next season, because look, he knew he was hurt. AD was hurt. They really didn't have a chance. Kyle Kuzma, he's, that's a whole nother episode. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother episode. But at the end of the day, Giannis, to me, I think overnight, and just at least to me, has become the face of the league. And I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Just because, and especially if he wins the title, because I forgot, he's won back-to-back MVPs, back-to-back like defensive player of the year. He's had everything that you need in order to kind of put your stamp on being the face of the league. There are other guys out there. I mean, the young guys, but I don't think they're there yet because they don't have the titles and they just don't have the other accolades as Giannis. So is he an exciting face of the league? No, he's not LeBron. He's not Michael. And just because you're the face of the league doesn't mean you're the best player of the league. Because look, Kobe for quite some time was one of the best players, but I don't know if he was really ever the face of the league, and I could be wrong at that. Because he had like a weird transition where he played with guys like Shaq. There were all these other great players. Jordan was there, and then there were a few years where he was down, and then by the time he got back up with Powell, there are other players like LeBron had already kind of supplanted himself as the guy of the league. Now Kobe might have still been the better player, but LeBron was actually the face of the league. So when I say he's the face, so I don't say he's the best player, but in the next 5 years, out of those other guys that I mentioned, you probably would take Giannis over those guys just because, he's younger, and we don't even know really what his potential could be. I don't think he's going to develop a jumper overnight. And I'm looking up his age right now because I don't know how old he is. He's 26. Giannis is 26. He'll be 27 at the end of the year. So by the time he's 26, he would have won. Well, he's 26. By the time he's 27, he might possibly would have won an NBA title, 2 MVPs, back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year, and who knows? And he's probably going to stay. He's probably going to stay in Milwaukee. Sorry, Barry. You're going to make me fall out of my chair. Sorry, man. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm still a Laker fan. But I got to keep it real. And I'm still a LeBron fan, but I just got to keep it real with you guys, and that's what I'm here to do. So, but anyway, moving on. Last topic of the night, Team USA basketball, man. They've wrapped up their exhibition games with Spain the other day. They beat Spain. A couple games got canceled due to COVID. But hold on, I gotta go back to this one. So we got Bryson says worst case scenario, he's the second place. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely an argument for that. I would say that. I will say this though. He definitely has benefited from just kind of being in a smaller market. We talk about him, but it's Milwaukee. There's not a real, he's played in, in California. He's in Brooklyn. But LeBron definitely has fallen. I wouldn't say fallen off all the way. LeBron's still a top 5 player. He's definitely a top 5 player. Okay. But age is getting up there. Giannis is 26. LeBron is what? Close to, I think, 35, 36 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So you got to give Bron credit. He's been able to play at this level for so long because he takes care of himself. And Giannis could be on that same trajectory, I would say. And believe me, I'm not a homer. I'm not just riding the wave right now, because we did say this a little bit too about Kawhi Leonard not too long ago too. So there's still some kind of like a grace period. I will have to see what happens, because look what happened to Kawhi. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he was the talk of the town. Oh, he's better than LeBron. He's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. I will say that. So I will say this, but I'll have to admit, it's looking like he's in that position to elevate himself. So yeah, he's keeping receipts. Please keep receipts, man. Because I keep every receipt that everyone else has for themselves. So I do that as well. So it's all good, but we'll see what happens. But we'll see. But like I said, Giannis definitely, to me, he's up there. He's definitely put himself up there. But anyway, let me stay on topic, because Barry got me all over the place, man. But that's cool. That's all good. So anyway, Team USA, I believe they open up next week Sunday, or this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know, man. This team, and I talked about this last week, they lost to Nigeria, which was, I guess, some people say it was a fluke. They've lost some players, Kevin Love, Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal couldn't make it due to some protocol, and I think Kevin Love just was like, yeah, he probably looked around and was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be here. So they added JaVale McGee, and then they added some other guy. I forgot his name. But a lot of people were like, why did they add JaVale McGee? Well, it's real simple. They need another big man. They don't really have a big presence in the paint. And if you watch any type of international basketball, it's way different than the NBA. And this is what I think will be the problem for a lot of these NBA players. They're used to getting whistles. You're not going to get that in international play, because for the most part, most people do not like America, period, and anything that we do. And I'm not saying this is a factor. I'm not speaking for all referees or officials involved in the Olympics or around the world, but here's the deal. They look at us as soft. They really do. And we are pretty soft, because I was watching some of those exhibition games, and KD and other guys, Jason Tatum, they're shooting, they're expecting certain calls that they would normally get in the NBA, but they're not going to get that in international play. You need to be tough, you need to be gritty. And I think this is where the world has kind of caught up with us. Talent-wise, if you look at the roster, U.S. men's basketball is by far the most talented team in the world. I mean, literally, you have some of the best players in the NBA playing on this team versus guys like from Australia, who Joe Ingles, I mean, great player, but come on, Joe Ingles, Patty Mills, great player, but come on, Patty Mills. Ben Simmons didn't decide to play. But say he did, Australia and probably would have been, if not favored to at least play silver, or at least be in contention for the gold. The U.S. is going to be in consideration for gold because it's the U.S. But I don't feel confident about this. I don't feel, who was the guy on this team? Who's that alpha male? The teams that have actually won and were very successful and just dominated, they had those guys on those teams, man. You remember those Kobe Olympic teams, he was a leader there. KD to me doesn't seem like a leader. The rest of the guys, this is a young group. This is a very young group, with the exception of KD and maybe in Dame. This is Draymond's on there, but it's like they're still undersized, even with JaVale McGee. And Bryson Carver says Dwight Howard would have been a better option than JaVale. He's still a rebounder. Yeah, I mean, he probably was, but we don't know if Dwight Howard was available. We don't know. But they went and got JaVale McGee, which, he's a guy that can protect the paint. Because remember, the goaltending rule is different in international play. Way different. Okay. So it's different rules, the court shaped differently. It's just different. So the U.S. will medal, but I'm not quite sure of their gold medal chances, just because these other teams, man, they can play. And a lot of these guys that played in Europe, they're used to playing international rules, so they know how to finesse themselves. The U.S. basketball team is a finesse team for the most part, the way it's been constructed, right? And I don't have the roster on me here. Let me pull that roster up for you, because that'll I can kind of go into a little bit more of who they have and who's tough and who's not tough. Because honestly, I don't think, Bam Adebayo, he's to me kind of finesse guy. I'm just talking about big men alone, right? Just the big men. JaVale McGee, he kind of finesse too. Really, they don't have a lot of size. Draymond Green, Jeremy Grant, these guys are like wing slash, scorers. Like they're not big guys. And when they run into teams like Spain or some of these European teams like Croatia, they may have problems. They definitely might have problems. So we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, I'm going to support the United States because I'm an American, but I got to keep it real as well too. So I'm not sure what their chances are. I hope they do well. I don't know who they're playing. Let me see who they're playing, if that's even available at this point in time. No, it's not available. So I guess we'll find out. I guess they're going to be in pool play, but Kevin Durant's definitely the guy on this team. But I can see them easily losing and maybe making a bronze medal game because these other teams are ready to go and they're out for blood. They don't like the United States and they're looking to prove that. So other than that, man, I'm out. That's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I will not probably be on Friday because I will be traveling. The plan is to make it to the Dallas Cowboys training camp. They start this Wednesday, but I'll probably be out there Saturday enjoying that with my family. So you probably guys won't see me probably because I'm going to be, I know I took a long time off, but I'm going to be probably back on the road again. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll be back on, to be honest with you. I might try to do a quick little Instagram live, keep you guys posted and get caught up with what's going on with the sporting world. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram as well. But, if anything, next week Friday for sure. I'll be back because I'll be back home in Nevada. But I'll be out. I'll be out doing my thing, and hope you guys are enjoying yourself and doing your thing before the summer, kind of dwindles down because Labor Day is coming soon. We got August, September, and boom, just like that, summer's over. So other than that, man, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for who are in the comment section today. Barry Grant, Bryson Carver, The Sports Cool. Appreciate you guys for popping in, man. You guys keeping it bumping. Other than that, man, make sure you guys hit up my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow that out as much as possible, but that's all I got. So until next time, everyone, this is me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, guys.